what did you think about that apology for the Last Supper mockery? Check this out.
Real life starts now.
This is Real Life Radio Show with Anh.
Hello, this is Evangelist Anh, host of the Real Life Radio Show. Thank you so much for joining us. I have some things to talk to you about. We need to talk about this because here we have this situation. There's this controversy with the Last Supper. And the question is, a lot of people are saying well, hey, it's not a mockery of the Last Supper. So the question is that we're all wondering, even though it looks so similar, are we being gaslighted or is it the truth? Is this some type of, no, we didn't punch you in the face, but we punched you in the face. So let's find out here. I want to show you some evidence, but first of all, let's take a look at this apology. If you look at this apology here, I'm going to pull this from the Star. It's right here on YouTube. Let's pull it up. And let's take a look. I'm going to stop, and I'm just going to give a little bit of commentary from the host of the Real Life Radio Show. Let's take a look.
Gender parity subject. One is not, so I think
and clearly there was never an intention to show disrespect to any religious group.
So let's stop here real quick. So here's Anne de Camps, and she's a spokeswoman. She's saying that, hey, we did not mean to do this. Let's take a look.
On the contrary, I think that Thomas Joly really tried to really intend to celebrate community tolerance. That was his word yesterday. And looking at the result of the polls that we shared, we believe that this ambition was achieved.
Did you just hear that? Community tolerance, meaning that there's intolerance, and therefore who is intolerant? That would be the religious groups. Because, you see, in the apology, the language is beginning to shape what she's thinking and what these people are thinking. Let's go on.
If people have taken any offense, we are, of course, really, really sorry.
Okay, so if you've taken offense, which you shouldn't have taken offense because we didn't mean to do it, we're really sorry. It's like, I'm sorry for how you felt. I'm sorry for, I'm sorry that you're so sensitive to take my punch in the face like that. But you know what? It's all good. This is the kind of apology that's being put forth. What do you think? Please make some comments on what your thoughts are. Let's take a look. And then we have Yanis Exarchos.
It was a ceremony like no other, and those are games like no other.
It was a ceremony like no other. If you look back at all the other years, it is not like this.
No other. I think that our hosts, it's easy for me to say, and we should all be grateful and thankful, they have put together a vision for these games, which is unprecedented.
Unprecedented it is. So he's trying to be like, hey, you know what? What's the big deal? The guy who put it together, he has this amazing vision for the Olympic Games. Let's just give him at least a little bit of kudos that he put on that, spent probably millions of dollars on this show.
It's an incredible vision for the games. We're trying to showcase that in the best possible way.
So here is the gentleman, Thomas Joly. He is a French gay man. Okay, so he is known as a gay man, and he was in charge of this whole thing, which is interesting. And I want to take a look here. Look closely at his words. This is the man who should be apologizing in France, and for a lot of his direction here. Let's take a look at his apology.
Intention n'a jamais été d'être impertinent ou d'être subversif, comme je l'ai dit tout à l'heure.
So he's saying our intention was never to be impertinent or to be subversive, as I said earlier. So he's like, I never meant to offend anybody. I want to think about that. I really want to take a look at that. Why do we really believe this as a man, part of the LGBTQ+? And that, now, this is not to disparage any group or any persons, not to cause any hatred. I'm just reacting to this apology, okay? This apology, he's saying that, hey, listen, guys, like, I didn't mean to offend anybody. Like, I don't know what the problem is.
Et c'est simplement que oui, dans cette grande diversité, il y a...
So our idea was something that we wanted this great diversity. Wait, what does he mean by diversity? Meaning it's kind of like I mean, there was, if you look on the stage of that, there was only trans, lesbian, gay. There was like diversity. Like I thought the Olympics was about the nations, you know, like have a few Asians up there, few Africans up there, few like Polish people, maybe, you know, something like more a little diverse. I don't know. I just gotta say is that, are we seeing through this filter here? This is like kind of silly. Why are we representing like basically 3 to 4% of the population of the world and making it as if it's like this great diversity? I don't understand that.
Besoin d'être conjointement.
Include everyone. I wasn't included. We didn't have some nice holy Christians up on that stage. We didn't have any Muslims. We didn't have any Buddhists. Like what? I don't understand what you're talking about.
Nous avons en tout cas voulu nous conjointement inclure tout le monde. Voilà. En France, la création artistique est libre. C'est le premier article de la loi sur la liberté de création.
Like, hey, listen, like I have the freedom to do this. Like, you know, there's no problem. Yes, of course, we have the freedom and the freedom to do things. Also, I'm from America. I believe in that too. But just because you have the freedom to do it, does it mean that you should do it? I don't know. Let's take a look.
J'en profite comme d'autres libertés en France, dans ce pays, on a la chance de ça. Il n'y avait pas de volonté pour moi de passer de messages plus, militants. C'était simplement des messages républicains. En France, on a le droit de s'aimer comme on veut, avec qui on veut. En France, on a le droit de croire ou de ne pas croire. En France, on a beaucoup de droits, voilà. Et c'était l'idée de faire transparaître ces valeurs-là à travers.
Think about that. He wanted to convey values that you can believe or not believe. You can kiss who you want, be with who you want, all these things. And yes, it's true. In France, we have these rights for France, like in America. No one's even talking about that. But this was very inclusive only to one group. This was not including all. This was including just one group, and that group was united on the stage attacking other belief systems that are out there. And let's take a look at that. And if you're saying, well, how can you say he's saying it's not? Well, let's take a look.
À travers la cérémonie.
So we made it very clear from the IOC an operational mistake was made. We can only apologise in an evening of so many moving parts that mistake was made, and we apologise to people from the Republic of Korea
Mark
for that.
Adams, like, hey, it's just an operational mistake. Like, we operated in such a way that made it look like a mockery to the Last Supper. We didn't mean to do that. It's an operational mistake. Like, you know, that was never the goal. That was never the intention. I really want us to take a deeper look into this. By the way, I don't believe that. I'm going to stop right here. I'm sorry. I am not naive. Let's take a look here. There is some here that there's actual evidence here. He was saying that this is not an inspiration of the Last Supper performance, is what Thomas Jolly said. Thomas Jolly here, if you're looking on Wikipedia, you can just see basically at the very bottom, it just says that he himself is a gay man. And I'm not against that or anything like that. But the fact that it's kind of interesting because if, like, for example, I'm a Vietnamese man. So if I had a job at the, at the Olympics, and I was like, I just want to do something that's inclusive of everything to make people more tolerant. And then I had a whole bunch of Vietnamese people mocking the Last Supper or something. Do you know what I'm saying? It just does. I'm sorry, but I don't really believe this here. And here, let's just take a look here. If you look closely here, if you look on the City Journal, it talks about how that there is some historians who have linked this painting performance to Bellini's The Feast of the Gods. Okay, so I don't know if you can see this here. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger for you here. Okay, the painting of the performance alludes to not Bellini's The Feast of the Gods, in fact, but rather the Feast of the Olympian gods. Okay, so that the painting does not align with the stage of the Paris ceremony. But the thing is that, so it's kind of like, well, it's just some pagan testimony. We're not mocking Christianity, but the Feast of the Olympian Gods was made by a man named Jan van Bilgert, and it was about 150 years after Da Vinci's painting the Last Supper, and it was made to mock the Last Supper. So if this is true, I want you to think about this. If this is true, it's like saying, well, we didn't mean to mock. Let's make it as more, paint a picture here. It's kind of like this. It's like, we weren't emulating hatred of Jews. We were just stating what Hitler said. Okay. So we were just copying Hitler, but we ourselves do not hate Jews. Would you believe that argument? I wouldn't believe that argument, but this is kind of the argument that's being put forth, which is saying that, no, it was never meant to hurt or, be against you guys. We're not against you guys, but at this time, this is what we're depicting and what we're promoting, which is someone who was mocking the Last Supper openly. So that is a little funny here. And then also, let me ask you a question, because that was very LGBTQ-esque on that stage, okay? So I think we can all agree to that. There's no argument about that. But my question to you is this. Does the LGBTQ plus have kind of a negative tone towards Christians, Christianity, Jesus, and the Christian God? And if you just go online, you are going to see stuff like this. Look at here, right on Open TV, this man is obviously an LGBTQ member, and he's making fun of Jesus Christ. This is here on a social media TikTok platform. Let's just take a look at what he says.
Way. So I think it's hilarious when someone messages me and says, you have to accept Jesus' love or you will burn in hell, because I love Jesus. I love any man who can get nailed for 3 days straight and come back for more.
Look at that sinister laugh. This is such a mockery of Jesus Christ, which the Bible calls blasphemy. This is such a blasphemous statement where this man, kind of looking feminine, is saying, I love Jesus. I don't even want to repeat that. That is just so messed up. That is so wrong. And so we're seeing someone who is kind of representing this LGBTQ group and is a member and is openly mocking Jesus Christ. So we now have some more. What other evidence do you have? Well, if you look and you just Google and you put in LGBTQ mocking Jesus at gay pride parades, you're going to see several mockeries at the gay pride events. And basically for people to are mocking Jesus and having these Jesus figures say, like, as if Jesus was for that cause. But in the Holy Bible and in the scriptures, the Bible talks about that it's an abomination, this lifestyle, an abomination to God. Like, God does not like this lifestyle, that God did not create people to be gay. I'm sorry. It's not hate speech. This is what I'm quoting the Bible. Okay. So you have to erase this to be able to do that, but it's in there. It's in the book of Leviticus, and it says, and many people, conservative groups are, or should be, not for that and not believing in this deception that people are born this way. And I can talk more about that later. That's not what this is about. But if you look at it, the question is LGBTQ plus mocking Jesus, Christians? And yes, look at these people dressing like trans nuns. So they're mocking nuns here. Here we have more mocking nuns, mocking priests and stuff like that. Here we have a trans woman who is on a cross, very clear mockery. And so it's saying like a trans woman is on the cross of Jesus. So, and then there's a dancer or something like that. This is at one of the gay pride parades. So to say that, oh, well, we didn't know that we hurt you, or we didn't mean to offend you. There's a history of this group trying to offend Christians and basically really openly speak out against Christians. When you take a Christian guy who goes and preaches the gospel, I have some friends who go and preach at these gay pride events, and they get stuff stolen from them, and they get abused, and they get slandered, and they get people verbally abuse them because they're so angry at the message. And so they're trying to really mock Jesus and Christians here and almost and take over it. at these gay pride events. Clearly, you can see it is everywhere. So to say that is ridiculous. So much so that it's to this point here. Let's take a look. There's this young girl here, and she is going to be interviewing someone at a gay pride event about an event. You'll see below. It's a little inappropriate. Just if you're sensitive to that, look away or turn it off. But let me show you.
Mocking. I'm using satire.
You're absolutely mocking when you put Jesus on a cross and you pole dance on it.
So look here, there is this imagery at the bottom of Jesus on the cross, and then there's a guy who is pole dancing on the cross. That is one of the most mocking things. And then let's listen to an LGBTQ member who made that, like the producer of that, defend that.
Bullies, you are putting words in my mouth, and I really don't.
Everybody's seen it. Everybody has seen it.
Yes, everyone has seen the satire that we do, and then they describe it in these terms that make them, I'm being.
I am telling you, as a Christian, that is extremely, extremely offensive. When I see my God on the cross
It's
mocked.
offensive. You're using your God to make me look bad.
Look at that's so. What kind of logic is this? And it's the same logic. I mean, it's not, but this is very openly a blur. This is like saying, like, what do you mean? You're using your God to make me feel bad for me making fun of your God. I mean, I have the full right to make fun of your God. And, if you're offended, well, like, your offense, and you even telling me about that I'm doing something wrong, is showing you how wrong you are. That is a form of narcissism. That is a huge form of narcissism where you cannot admit when you're so openly, blatantly wrong or cannot hear the other side. Watch out, folks. Narcissism is on the loose here because that is what's happening right before your eyes. I'm not saying he's a narcissist. I'm just saying this is narcissism type of behavior.
Me look foolish to beat me up.
Why can't you just say, yeah, that was wrong? You could just say, yeah,
Because
that
it
was
is
wrong.
not wrong to heal people who were beaten and shot for being gay and trans. How dare you, madam? How dare you shame us? How dare you shame us in our own Pride Festival, madam?
I don't even know what to say about that. However, what I'm saying is that there's this kind of twisted thinking that is out there. And really, we need to get to the bottom of this. Where is this all coming from? In the Bible, it's written in 2 Timothy verses 3. And I want you to look at this here and ask yourself, is this true? Is this true here? But know this, that in the last days, perilous times will come. For men will be lovers of themselves, lovers of money, boasters, proud, blasphemers. And I would say that's what all this is. Disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, unloving, unforgiving, slanderers, without self-control, brutal, despisers of good, traitors, headstrong, haughty. These are like headstrong. Like, these people do not listen no matter how wrong they are. They do not listen. Having a form of godliness but denying its power. And I just want you guys to think about this here for a second. Our friend Thomas Jolly here, okay? Let's just take a look here. Our friend Thomas Jolly. And he got a lot of hate speech and all this stuff. I'm not for that. If you're sending him threats and stuff like that, cut that out. That is wrong. But my main point is that, though, I mean, nice letter saying, hey, I really didn't appreciate that, Mr. Jolly. Mr. Thomas, I think that this here, we just need to understand that Thomas Jolly is a man who is hiding behind this kind of logic. And it's kind of like a form of gaslighting. It's like, well, I didn't mean to insult you. I'm inspired by the one who did insult Christians in the past, but I'm not against you, and I'm not doing this. But clearly it is. And I think that there's so much so that, the question is that I think that this could be where Thomas Jolly and all the LGBTQ plus can feel, and their complaint would be that Christians are against them. And the message, of course, which is, people who are doing all types of abuses to those who call themselves gay or LGBTQ plus. And I think I agree with that message, which is it's wrong to, attack a group of people who want to live that lifestyle. But On the opposite side, I don't think it's okay for that side to be attacking the other side. Do you know what I'm saying? Which is that, and that's where I feel like we're in today. We're in a time where people are openly blaspheming Jesus Christ, and they're like, "Well, I didn't do anything, and it was something else. You guys made a mistake. You guys made a mistake and didn't understand what our intention was. So therefore, it's your guys' fault. You guys are a little too sensitive, and I'm fine. I did everything good. I'm just explaining my freedoms away." Well, I don't buy it. I don't buy it. And what I'm seeing is, and I'm not here to blame Thomas or all these people, but this is, for something like this to end up in the Olympics, it just shows where this world is going and that we are in the last days. And we're in a time where truth is being very heavily misconstrued. And for me, even sharing this, I look so uncool and could be shut down for some type of hate speech or something like that. But listen, is there freedom here? Is there freedom for me? If we're going to talk about to be so inclusive, is it freedom for me to be able to believe, to say, I do not agree with that lifestyle. I do not agree with that. And if you do that, it's fine, but I don't agree with it. I don't support it. I don't want to give money to that. And I think I should have the freedom to do that. I should have the freedom to be like, hey, I don't support that kind of thing. I don't hate them. I don't hate, and the truth is, Christians shouldn't hate, and real Christians don't hate the LGBTQ+. They don't support the LGBTQ+, but they don't hate the LGBTQ+. And that's where all this confusion is with all these churches. They're like, hey, we're pro all this stuff. And it's like, you can't because it's in here. It's right here in the Bible. You can't support that kind of thing. It's just like, I can't be like, well, I'm Christian and I support murder. I'm Christian and I support, drug use and, getting high and drunkenness. You can't. You just can't do that. I don't even have to say that. And that's not in question. But I don't know why the other stuff is in question. So would the world wake up, please? And it's not going to wake up because these are the last days. And so those who are listening, be prayerful, be understanding, but then also understand why this kind of stuff is happening. Be in prayer, be ready, but then also be ready to give an answer for your faith. Be ready to give an answer. We don't need to be all offended and all like, oh my gosh. Because honestly, I'm not offended. I'm just praying for you more. And here's the truth is, I'm believing in this statistic that 1 out of every 2 people who are LGBTQ+ come out of it over time. That means 50% walk away from that. It's almost like saying I'm, Asian, and then 50% of Asians suddenly think they're Caribbean. You know what I mean? But this is the reality here of that is that 50% of LGBTQ+ walk away from that lifestyle and go back to being straight. So I just want you to realize that factor is there. It's going to happen. It is happening now. I interview former LGBTQ+ people on our radio show, Real Life Radio Network, and it is incredible. You can listen to us on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Alexa, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and you can pull up these stories, and they will severely bless you. You will be blessed. And I'm praying that you are blessed. And eventually I'm going to get a directory up on our website, The Real Life Radio Show, and it's going to be so good. Guys, until next time, what do you think? Please leave your comments below. I want to hear what you think, and let's talk until next time.